Alright everybody, what's going on? How you all doing? My Hero Academia is just so goddamn good. If you have not taken the time to set aside to go ahead and read it, I urge you to do so. My Hero Academia is just so goddamn good. Such just a simple concept turned so badass in this chapter was really good, slow at parts, but really good overall. I think the chapter was just, oh man, we get to see a little bit of backstory with Ida and his brother talking to each other. We can already see that Ida has admired his brother for some time and his heroic capabilities. And for the most part, this is what the beginning of the chapter was like. Mainly just Ida looking back at his past, and you can really get to see how much he admires his brother. You get to see the type of person that Ida's brother really is, and I love that. I really like that. It was nice getting to see just his brother just a little bit, other than the little bit we saw him in the hospital where he looked kind of just a little piss poor for, which is understandable. It seems like he's never going to be able to be a hero ever again after what Ida's brother went through with the hero killer. But it's awesome. Ida just pushes through. He's able to move once again, and he's able to dish out a nice fucking kick to the hero killer before he slashes Todoroki. He breaks the hero killer's sword, and then it seems like Ida's still having a little bit of trouble. It seems like his radiator in his leg or in his suit or whatever it is has pretty much blown out, and it needs to be cooled down. And then we get, at the end of the chapter, we're already at the end of the chapter, and I know I'm not long into this video because not a lot happened in this chapter. It was just a lot of the stuff that did happen did spread across several pages. But once we got to the end of the chapter, Ida's going to go in for pretty much one last blow. Todoroki at this point is just kind of playing defense for the most part. He's being offensive, but in a defensive way. He's trying to keep the hero killer at bay while he tries to cool down Ida's radiator thing or whatever it is. And then Ida goes up and goes for another attack, and then we get to see Deku goes in for a punch, and then Ida kicks and Deku punches the hero killer at the same time. It was a nice just team up moment, them whooping that ass. It was just a nice scene. You could see that the hero killer is not getting out of this one unscathed. It definitely looked like he took some damage, and it was just awesome. We don't really know if this is going to be the conclusion to the fight. It's probably fairly safe to assume that this is more or less going to be the ending of the fight, where the hero killer, seemingly for the most part, has taken enough damage to the point where he's not going to be able to fight back and beat them, if he can, beat them before the professional heroes show up, which is pretty much what Ida, Todoroki, and Deku have been doing up to this point. Is they're just trying to buy enough time until the professional heroes arrive. But it seems like at this point the hero killer is not going to have enough strength in him or the time to really take care of them before the professional heroes show up. So I have a feeling that this is pretty much where this confrontation is going to end for now, because, and they went into this a little bit detail in the chapter, where the hero killer isn't much of anybody, really. It's once you find out what his quirk is, it becomes a matter of just keeping him at bay. Other than his weird quirk, it does have some kind of weaknesses to it, and he's not much of a threat at that point. He's still a threat because he obviously knows how to use his quirk, and he's really good at close quarters combat, obviously, as we've seen up to this point. But really, he's not much of anything special, especially once you really learn his quirk and all that. So his quirk can be useful, but unfortunately there are a lot of variables that have to play into how he uses it, because like for instance, if he needs to cut them and take in their blood, but the only problem is that up front he doesn't know the person's blood type, so he doesn't know how long the effect is going to last. He doesn't know their power. If their power is a very defensive type, he may have some problems. If his power is his enemy's quirk is a real long-range quirk, that's not really gonna work out in his favor. So his power, while being cool and useful in some cases, depending on the person he's fighting, the quirk they have, he's not gonna be that big of a deal. So at this point, I feel like the conflict may be pretty much wrapped up at this point. The professional heroes are probably going to show up here at any moment. Overall, this was a pretty damn good chapter. I liked it a lot. I would probably give it about... I don't know. I would probably give it about a 7 out of 10. Overall, just a really good chapter. The team up at the end with Deku and Ida was just awesome. The flashback, while not anything exciting, was just kind of cool to see how much Ida admires his brother and gave him the motivation to get up. I felt maybe they spent a little too long on that in the chapter, but overall, just a pretty damn good chapter. Ida finally getting up, overcoming everything that he's pretty much gone through. He realized that he kind of failed his brother's name, and he wants to kind of make up for that. But overall, just a really good chapter. But I want to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you all liked the video, if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. And thank you all so much for the amazing love and support you've left on all the previous videos. It has been awesome. I love you all, and I will see you all next time. I am out.